Hey guys, it's Michaela Dene again. BuzzFeed has made a video called 27 Questions Black People Have for Black People. I'm going to answer 27 questions, me, a black person. I'm going to answer those 27 questions. If my dab is on fleek, am I lit? Yes, I guess you are. If your dab is on fleek, then I guess you would be lit. Why is it so hard to be on time? Not really sure why it's hard to be on time. I'm late for everything. I'm probably going to be late for my funeral. I'm probably going to be late for my wedding. Why did watermelon become our thing? Like, everyone should love watermelon. The idea that black people liked watermelon comes from a lot of propaganda cartoons that show black people only liking watermelon and fried chicken. So that is where we do get the stereotype that we like watermelon and we only like watermelon. Black people didn't take watermelon. It was a stereotype that was put onto us because our lips were so big that we could grab the whole thing and devour it. So that's where we got that. Why do black people look at your shoes before they greet you? I've never looked at someone's shoes before greeting them. Why is my natural hair seen as a political statement? And because you live in America where the white standards of beauty, European standards of beauty are pushed on you, and the fact that you wear your hair natural, it does say that you aren't buying into that standard of beauty. The natural hair that you have is good enough, and you're not going to accept that this white standard of beauty is what you should be. Why do you get upset when I don't like a black celebrity? I do think it comes from you. There's like very few, I guess, black celebrities, or there are very few, black people in power. And if you don't support them, maybe they're saying that you aren't supporting your people. So to a degree, I do think that black people get upset if you don't like a certain celebrity. I don't know. That's just how it is, but I do get sometimes what they're saying. Why is it a problem if I like anime? It depends on where you live because a lot of black people do like anime. A lot of black people do cosplay. I don't really think that it's an issue for a lot of people. The next question is, why do black people have to say I have Native American in my family to seem interesting? For me, I don't feel that a lot of people think that you have to say that you're part Native American. I do think sometimes if you say that I don't feel that now in the society, the black community that we live in today, that you have to say that you're part Native American to be popular, because in reality, I think a lot more people find you more interesting if you are more connected to your blackness. The next question is, why is my blackness only defined by adversity? Your blackness is not defined by adversity. We live in a world where at one point we weren't even considered people, we were considered property, and the fact that we overcame this and that this is the blood that runs through your veins, you should be extremely proud of that. Your blackness is defined by your culture, it is defined by who you are, but it also is, your blackness is defined by all of these people who before you have fought for you to be able to ask these questions. And the fact that you're saying that I'm more than just the adversity that I've overcome. Yes, you are, but at the same time, a big part of who you are these people who fought for you to be where you are. Why are we more likely to get engaged in most recent dance trend than we are to be involved in politics or opening a business? That is a lie. And you do have to understand that there are institutional racism and issues that prevent a lot of black people from getting into businesses. If you are black, you are less likely to receive a loan. If you are black, you're less likely to finish college. If you are black, you're more likely to go to jail. But in today's society, with gentrification and a lot of, these things that are hindering you, it is harder for you to own a business. But even saying that, we do have a good amount of black owned businesses. We do have a lot of young people who are going into politics, And we do have a lot of people who are overcoming those obstacles. So that question as a whole is pretty stupid. This question is, why are we so quick to support a non-black owned business but hesitate to support a black owned business? As far as hesitating to support a black owned business, as far as saying that, I'm not just going to support a business because it's black. And that may sound horrible, but I'm not. Why don't we want to confront our mental health issues? The black community is looked down upon. If you have a mental issue, that's even worse. So it's easier to ignore that mental health issue than it is to accept it, because as of right now, you already have so many things looking down on you. Why would you add that onto your, list of things? Why is there a checklist for being black? There is no checklist for being black. So if you're basing your blackness on how someone feels about you, then that's a personal issue you have within yourself. Is there a cutoff time for the whole homophobia thing in the black community? Because I'm really looking forward to that. What I would like to say to this girl is, well, why doesn't she read a Kelly Brown Douglas book? Here it is right here, The Black Bodies in the Black Church. Before we can even talk about being gay in the black community, you do have to talk about the black body as a whole. Black men, for a long time, even today, are considered to be aggressive. They are considered to be overly sexual people. Black women and men are looked to have a overly active libido. There are just multiple issues that go along with that. So before you can even talk about the issue of homophobia, you have to talk about the issue of the black sexuality as a whole. Why do you want to be seen as a monolith, but want to take someone's black card away for not liking something that's supposedly black? I don't think anybody has gotten their black card taken away for not liking fried chicken. Like, I'm pretty sure Waka Flocka is a vegan, and he still has his black card. I don't know if we take someone's black card away for not liking something that's supposedly black, but we do take people's black card away for doing stuff that is kind of dumb. Like, but people like Stacey Dash definitely got her black card taken away because she is, I don't even know what this girl is doing. Raven-Symoné, black card is definitely gone. Why do we call each other the N-word but get vehemently upset when a white person uses the N-word? DeRay McKesson made a great point when he argued this on television a while back. He said, when I call a black person nigga, or when he calls me nigga or she calls me nigga, there's a mutual understanding of pain. But when a white person calls a black person the N-word, there is not a mutual understanding of pain. Only one person gets hurt, and only one person truly understands the pain behind that word and the history behind that word. And why do we get upset when a white person uses the N-word? Because we should get upset when a white person uses the N-word. Why, in my wildest dream, would I want a white person to use that word, and a white person knowing the history of that word? Why would they ever want to use that word? Why do we assume well-off black people don't know what it's like to be black? I don't believe that we've ever said that being well-off and being black, you don't know what it's like to be black. Because you do. The color of your skin hasn't changed, whether the amount of money in your bank account has changed. But it's a concept of whether you accept that you have these privileges, whether you accept that you are a black person and that you do face discrimination, and whether you accept or whether you want to ignore them. Do you really believe black is beautiful? Yes, I do believe black is beautiful. Or is it something you say just to sound cool? I don't believe that there is one black person in the world that has said my black is beautiful to sound cool, because in the society we live in, to say that being black is beautiful is not considered a good thing, because being black is looked down upon. So in order for you to just say that is a statement within itself. Why do you think people with light skin look better than people with dark skin? Light skinned people are considered beautiful and dark skinned people aren't. Comes from, slavery, but it comes from Willie Lynch, who was a slave owner in the West Indies. We get the word lynching from Willie Lynch, but the way that we Americans, or the American colonies, got the idea of how to control their slaves is from Willie Lynch. He was kind of an ingenious person of how to break a slave and how to create separations inside the slave communities, and how basically to control slaves. So when the first group of slaves are brought over to the colonies, the colony of Virginia was having a hard time controlling their slaves, so they called Willie Lynch and they asked him to come to Virginia and teach them how to control their slaves. And one of the ways that he did this was to separate light-skinned slaves from dark-skinned slaves. And to create that separation, they wanted to create distrust in the slave community, so that the light-skinned people thought that they were closer to white people, and the dark-skinned people felt that they were away from the light-skinned people, and that it caused turmoil within the slave community. Why do some black people say you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl? Again, this has to do with self-hate, and it has to do with the idea of slavery and you not being considered pretty if you were black or dark-skinned. Why do some black men only date white women?
Negroes think that they're not making progress, or they don't have anything unless they're living in a white neighborhood, unless they have the white man's neighborhood, a seat in the white man's school, or a position on the white man's job, and they even have taken it so far they don't think they're successful in life unless they have a white woman as a wife.
Why is it okay for a black man to date white women, but not okay for black women to date outside of her race? I think you have issues on both sides. If you're a white woman, or if you're a white woman dating a black man, you have people who say it's wrong. And if you're a black woman dating a white man, you have people that say it's wrong. So I don't think that either gets a pass in the black community. Why do I have to be mixed in order to have long hair? I think the question should be, why do you feel I am mixed if I have long hair? Because you don't have to be mixed in order to have long hair. Why do you chant Black Lives Matter but then tear each other down in the next breath? I will say that Black Lives Matter, but then again, I will say that there are issues in the black community. There's nothing wrong with calling out problems that I have in my community, and especially if I'm willing to fix it. Why is being educated considered a white thing? This comes from slavery, again, where you were not allowed to read if you were black, and only white people could read. So if you were a black person that could read, that would be considered you doing a white thing. Why is growing up without a father so common in our race? Willie Lynch, as a whole, in his speech to Virginia at the James River, one of the things he told these slave owners to do was to take a woman and see how loyal she would be. If he told her to do something, if he told her to do something and she hesitated, to beat her into submission. And once she was submissive, she would raise her sons to be submissive to you. Also, a way in which Willie Lynch kept the slave community in check is that he took away the male figure and pushed the woman figure to be out in front. And in his speech, it does say you have the woman in front and the male behind and scared. One way that he did this was to take the biggest black male, tie him to 2 horses, tar and feather him, and set him on fire, and then have 2 horses pull him apart. This was to make an example of the other black men not to be so big, not to be so great, and to always be submissive. But guys, I have to go. It is like 11:23 and I have so much work to do. So I hope to see you guys next week. And I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching.